Nerds and geeks back at it again. It is the legendary Nerd-O-Roundtable. Your truly king, nerdificent Koala Sharp in the building. Joined by none other than Ryan Twitchmaster McBain. He's back.
And just like that, Black Panther is back.
I know, Ryan, you being consistent and everything. What is up?
Man. Yeah, man. Dr. Liz from the freeway.
Hello, everyone.
And Thomas Talking Cunningham.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
Are you in the Phantom Zone or?
I think so.
He's in the dark.
I'm about to not be. Chill out.
It's all good. Mo Kelly may be joining us. We shall see. But we had to come together today on now the wrapping up of San Diego Comic-Con. And the last time Mo and I broadcast from San Diego Comic-Con, it was a couple years back. I swore I said, look, this may be the last year I go to Comic-Con. I believe that was the year you were with us, Tom, helping us record interviews. We hadn't been back since then. So that was what was that, 3 years ago? That was a while ago, right?
It's more than that.
It was I remember because y'all complained about the cost of sandwiches.
That was, I think, pre-COVID, bro.
Oh, well, shit. See, and look how far it's gone. Because I was like, I'm not going back. That hour and a half walk from one end to the convention center to the next, just to go back and forth to try to get interviews. I was like, bruh.
I thought it was over the Subway sandwich cost.
No. Now the price gouging in San Diego, from my understanding, it has gotten no better. They are still committing actual crimes of price gouging out there with what they're doing with the price hikes for simple things. A $5 foot long is not supposed to be $15, y'all. It's just not.
Damn, $15?
Shit like that. Yeah, I went and got the $5 foot long combo, and my man said $15. I said, sir, I ordered the $5 foot long combo. He said, well, this is a special menu or some shit like that, and actually billed me $15. I was like, for the drink and the chips and the half sandwich? Man, look, San Diego can have all that price gouging, but no, not even a foot long. Liz, they and here's the thing, they only had a certain select menu because it was in the heart of what is that? That's right down there. Is that the red light district? Whatever that district is, right outside the convention center.
Gaslight.
Ain't no red light.
Gaslight, not the red light. Gas lamp. They were absolutely losing their mind. But I do know a lot of folks that went down, a lot of artists who said that this year, surprisingly, even though it was packed, that the crowds were fair and that it was not overly packed, and it wasn't problematic. The lines for Hall H were traditional. They were long and people were camping out, but in Hall H delivered treats all the way through. I mean, the DC panel, everyone was excited to see the Guardians of the Galaxy cast on stage. I mean, not Guardians of the Galaxy, Green Lantern cast on stage. Everyone's excited to get the sneak peeks of the new Batman animated film. Part 1, was it Nightfall Part 1, dropping soon, and all the comic reveals. They did a Spaceballs panel. Rick Moranis came out, and we haven't seen Rick Moranis in forever and a day. So him coming out was major. For some reason or another, they dropped a Matchbox trailer, and they had the cast of the Matchbox movie there. And we've seen the trailer, and you watch it and you say to yourself, so is this John Cena's knockoff Fast and Furious because his character was killed in the last Fast film, but he still wants to live the Fast adventure, so he's doing his own thing? What this film has to do with Matchbox cars, outside of kids playing with Matchbox cars as kids, is confusing as hell to me.
I don't even know why they even made it.
But that's what it is, though. Because they needed a Fast and Furious franchise, and this was a toy franchise, and
why not do
unlike Fast and the Furious, which didn't ever lean into the car toys, it's like, here's a brand for Mattel. Barbie did $1 billion worth of business. G.I. Joe, all of those sorts of things that were fruit of the Mattel tree are open for business. And so, yes, it's thin, but it's no thinner than Jumanji or any other movie that tries to leverage nostalgia.
Yeah, true that. True that. You know, Johnson, he still wants to you know, be that comedic action star, which I think he does good. I think John Cena does good with comedic action roles. So we'll see. I mean, you know, look, to me it looks like a popcorn movie, you know, and I'll watch. I like the cast, like all the people in the cast. I mean, they're funny individuals, so I'm looking forward to it actually. Even though I said to myself, so but still, I think interestingly enough, the biggest presence at Comic-Con, which probably was maybe absent because of the Disney D23 event that happens, you know, kind of around Comic-Con every year, but this year maybe it's just they're pushing it back or whatever. But Marvel had an insanely heavy presence at Comic-Con. One of the biggest takeaways, and I know you'd appreciate this, McBain, is the new Wolverine game.
Yes.
Like folks are losing their effing mind off of all the footage, the story line, everything about this game. They're like, this is peak Marvel video game.
I'm ready for it, baby. I can't wait. That's a day one purchase for me.
Day one. Okay. Now there was also news of a new Spider-Man. Is there a new a continuing Spider-Man game coming out?
Yeah, but not anytime soon. Maybe next year. Okay. Right now they're focused all on Wolverine. There's gonna be a new Spider-Man game. There's gonna be a Venom game as well.
And I know Marvel Rivals was really big. I collect the action figures. I just bought the Marvel Rivals Moon Knight figure and the Punisher Deluxe figure, which the scale and the size on these figures is absolutely insane. Speaking of figures, every single company that is dropping a absolute Batman figure, they're going ham. Absolute Batman ruled every single toy display throughout Comic-Con. Like I want to get one of each of every one of these things for MediaCon, McFarlane, like everyone that's dropping one, the Blokies. I'm like, yo, you guys are absolute Batman. And I think for comics news, you know, the X-Men news and the Avengers and all those different storylines, to me, it's like Marvel is really, for me personally at least, Marvel is run out of stories and they keep trying to rehash these world-ending event stories within the comics. What DC is doing is DC finally hit on something with their Absolute line, which is stellar. The Absolute DC comic line is absolutely stellar, and their retelling of these characters. And you would think, is there a new way to tell stories about Batman and Superman and Aquaman and the like? And believe it or not, DC found a way. This is DC's almost what Marvel did, the Ultimate Universe, and they reimagined all their characters, in which Ultimate gave us Miles Morales, you know, the biggest star from that universe. In this new universe,
Black Fury.
Oh, Black Nick Fury, yes, Black Nick Fury, definitely. There are it's the Absolute line is fantastic for DC because it's not a Elseworlds thing. It's not, you know, we're flipped into a different universe, but all of a sudden it's going to go back to these other stories. No, the Absolute comic line is a serious line for DC, and they're winning, and that probably comic wise had the biggest panel. But the thing that I know you all want to know about, and I know you all want to hear about, is what do we think of the Marvel
Ryan Gosling
H? You know, yes. I mean, really and truly. I mean, it's there was so Marvel, they came back to Hall H and they put foot to ass with every single thing that they delivered. Some of the things we got to see, some things you know, were leaked online that we were able to catch. Of course, the Avengers Doomsday panel, all the cast was out there. That was a major panel, and a new full-length trailer was leaked. It keeps going up and coming down. So if you've seen it, good for you, because now you probably can see, oh, okay, you guys are actually doing something. This new trailer that dropped, this is one of those, you should have led with that, Marvel. You could have actually put both those, the first little mini trailer you dropped, you should have put them both together. Just giving us a gigantic trailer. Because this new trailer, I'm like, oh shit, you guys are
first trailer they dropped should have dropped months ago. And then this one should have dropped today.
You know what? I have a different take on this.
Okay.
Because and this is the different take. When we were talking in the chat last week and we were thinking about the timing of Comic-Con, we thought that there wasn't going to be another Doomsday trailer before Spider-Man. It seems almost certain that they're going to put this new trailer, this better trailer, in front of Spider-Man. And all of the negative chatter about Doomsday didn't dim the first day sales. And it kept the conversation in the nerdosphere. And now, after all of this anticipation and the 6 little baby trailers, and the highlight of which I think was probably Cyclops doing a full mega blast, there wasn't anything else in those trailers that I think really anybody responded to, except for the fact that we figured that Chris Evans was back as Steve Rogers. So there was that, and there was Cyclops. And there was the fact that you were definitely having Ian McKellen, you were definitely having Patrick Stewart in as far as the X-Men things. Nobody really cared. There wasn't really much to see about the Thor little brief segment, but it kept the conversation going. Everybody was pissed off, and where's Doom, and why haven't we seen this, and why haven't we seen that? And then they dropped the other trailer, and it was like, oh man, this is weak sauce. And of course, they had something in their hip pocket. And now there's going to be even more enthusiasm. Not that Spider-Man Brand New Day needs it. Spider-Man Brand New Day is tracking phenomenally. However, with the fact that this trailer is out, more people than had, I think, even planned on going to see Brand New Day are now going to be grabbing tickets just to be able to see it unadulterated on the big screen, to confirm that this trailer that's been going up and down is actually the real deal. And it definitely does look better. We are still 6 months out from the freaking movie, people. Nobody saw a whole bunch of trailers for Obsession and it turned into a $300 million juggernaut. So all I'm saying is that we, as deeply rooted fans, of course, want as much as we want, while we also don't want anything spoiled for us. It's a catch-22 that's almost impossible to win. However, for the general public, very few people are buying their movie tickets 6 months in advance. And so it makes sense that the biggest Marvel release of the year, which is 6 months, almost to the day of Doomsday, gets the first big Doomsday trailer. And I think whether or not Feige fell into this, whether or not the reshoots push trailers back, I don't know. All I know is that everybody who has apparently seen that trailer in person is goo goo gaga over it. And even us, when we saw it, I ran and downloaded it because
same brother, same.
You got to keep that one. To take a look at it. We don't want to strike on our show, so we're going to keep it off the show. But you should be able to find it. And if you find it, you should download it so that you don't have to worry about it being taken away. I think that this is going to end up being a master stroke for them. And on top of the other 2 big reveals in Hall H, I thought it was a very strong presentation for Marvel. Not, of course, to the heady heights of pre-Infinity War, but as far as a comeback and kind of trying to right the ship and kind of trying to get the train back on the tracks, I think this is probably a very strong showing for them.
When I first saw the first trailer, I wasn't sold on Doom's accent but the shit he said to Thor and how he said it, I was like, okay, yeah, that's Doom. Yeah. Okay.
It's still not a great accent though.
No, I mean
it's good enough for me, Tom. I'm just saying.
And here's the thing. I think for us, when it comes to Doom's accent, if you go back and watch any cartoon, any appearance we have heard from Doom, and we've only seen animated appearances from Doom, outside of the Fantastic Four film, any of those iterations which had Doom, all those Doom sucked. Every last one of those Doom sucked. So if you go back, I'm telling you, everyone watching, Go back and watch any cartoon, and Doom's voice is always corny as shit. It always sounds like some old school vaudevillian, bad guy. I will get you, Fantastic Four. That's typically the Doom voice that we get from fucking cartoons. So it's like, I don't know if to me it's almost like we don't know what Doom sounds like. We have an idea in our minds because of where he's from, but we actually have never really heard Doom in his fullness.
So here's my thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm ready for a James Earl Jones situation. We may not see this motherfucker without the mask on for this first movie. Listen, get Mads Mikkelsen, get fucking who's the dude from Django Unchained?
Christoph Waltz.
Yeah, Christoph Waltz. Get somebody with an actual Eastern European accent.
Yeah.
To give me Latveria and put RDJ in the lab. If RDJ could sound like a credible black person in Tropic Thunder, he just needs some more training to give me something that's a little bit more Slavic than what we got, because
I cannot.
I do not like it. Now, in the previous iterations of live action Fantastic Four, neither of the Dooms was from Latveria.
Yeah.
So it didn't really matter. But they are leaning heavy into the mythology of Latveria and his, apparently it's a picture of this big thing is a picture of his wife and child. I still think it could be his mother and him. I'm not completely sold on that theory. But what I do know is that I don't like the squares on his vest. I think it's too much. I think it's too many squares. I like the fact that his cloak appears.
Tom, are you going off on the squares?
I am. I think it doesn't work for me. I get it. I know that the cloak wasn't going to work, and so they were going for a closer to it, like a medieval, like leather armor or whatever sort of look. And I do like the fact that the big circles on his cloak appear to be mystical totems of some sort.
Yes.
I think there's a lot of interesting stuff going on that's kind of building up to why he apparently has so much power. So this Doom from this Fantastic Four universe that we saw in the closing credits of the Fantastic Four movie apparently has been working on mystical and scientific power sources, at least through his lifetime in this other universe.
Now, they've been teasing that that's not actually Doom that we saw, that's actually one of the Doom witches that we saw in the end of the Fantastic Four trailer, because folks who were at Comic-Con who got to see the Doom witches and see all these things in person, they're like, oh, snap, that wasn't Doom that we actually saw in the end of Fantastic Four. It was one of the Doom witches that was possibly sent to the Fantastic Four.
That doesn't make any sense to me. But
I didn't think that the Doom witches looked very slight of build to me. They did, and that Doom, that cloaked figure that we saw at the end of the thing looked like a man to me. And the mask was off, which to me implied that, Franklin is still a baby, a toddler at that point, so maybe he doesn't really care. But to me, I felt that was actually supposed to be Victor Von.
I think it was too. It'd be a waste, because if that's the case, then we haven't seen Doom yet, which would be ridiculous. So I think
that was the whole point of the build-up to me.
Yeah, exactly.
And we know that Doom is coming from that universe. So, I think we do. I think that's the whole point, because supposedly, Steve Rogers was transplanted to that universe. So,
also, Reed Richards even keeps calling Doom Victor in the trailer that leaked. He keeps saying, "Victor, was that you? Victor, did you do this?" Something like that. He keeps calling him by his first name.
And in Comic-Con, while they were talking to the cast on stage, they were grilling Pedro Pascal about his relationship with Doom, and he was laughing and playing around when he said, but he said, yeah, we're besties. So that lends to the belief that trailer that you shared with us a while back, McBain that had RDJ being erased from that timeline seems to be leading more towards what possibly happened, or at least he was erased from the picture, and why Doom will be coming after them. We'll see how that goes. But look, there's a whole lot of between now and then that'll drop. It's interesting how quickly the fan base has done a 180 on their belief in the MCU, because when you think about it, every single character in this film released mid projects overall to the fan base. We may have liked them, we may have thought this one was good, this one was bad, whatever, but for the most part, every one of the films that would led up to this film was considered mid, large in part by reviews. So for everyone to come around and say, I've got to run and see this, especially when you've got Thor leading the charge in a trailer, and to a person, everyone hated Love and Thunder. So you're running back to a film now. It's like, forget Love and Thunder. We're just going to go straight to this. It's very interesting in how quickly folks are turning around and forgetting that they weren't fans of Thunderbolt. They weren't fans of Fantastic Four. There was not this overwhelming love of Shang-Chi, nor Wakanda Forever. When I say Wakanda Forever, I'm talking about all the hate towards Shuri. And I'm not talking about us in the group. I'm talking about when you looked at the overall reviews and the chats and the hate that was going on out there. Marvel's over. Every film was Marvel's over, Marvel's over. Box office be damned, because we're going to buy the tickets anyway. It's just interesting how quickly people have done this massive 180 to like, oh, no, make my Marvel again. Look, I love it because I'm a fan. Marvel has not really lost me yet. Even Thor: Love and Thunder, I went and saw that in theaters. So
me too.
I've seen everything. I saw Ant-Man in theaters.
We all did.
Everything.
Yeah.
You know what's interesting about the Black Panther 2 hatred? It was still, out of all of these flop movies, the most profitable by a lot.
Yeah, it made more than Guardians 3.
$853 million.
I keep telling people that. Yeah.
Yeah. So and even Love and Thunder, I did not hate it as much as Ryan.
Me, yes.
It certainly is not. Ragnarok still is the best Thor film.
Easily.
And so it was disappointing to come off the heels of Ragnarok into Love and Thunder, because for two reasons. Gore was not how I think anybody imagined Gore would be. I didn't need him to look like he had two big socks hanging off the back of his head. I didn't need that. But the character design was not what anybody expected. And there wasn't a whole lot of God killing, to be honest.
No, there wasn't.
It was,
Thank you.
So he wasn't built up as this huge big bad with a lot of stakes. And then they did this whole veer of Taika Waititi going into full comedy mode when they went to the thing of the gods, and now Thor is new. Now Zeus is killed by his own thunderbolt, at least temporarily. I mean, there were a lot of problems with the movie. However, it still made $786 million. So that was a downgrade from the highs of Endgame, obviously. But there are very few movies that make $786 and $853 million that aren't considered successes.
Mm-hmm.
You're just comparing them against $2 billion on the biggest movie in the Marvel history, which was only preceded by the second biggest movie in Marvel history, which was Infinity War and Endgame. So yes, by those metrics, but it still did better than any of the DC films outside of
or really any film,
right? So it was still big movies. But you're right, Quantumania didn't do those numbers. Black Widow didn't, Shang-Chi didn't, Thunderbolts didn't, and
Marvel's
to
Captain
your point,
America didn't. Yeah.
Okay.
No. Yeah. Brave New World didn't. Although Brave New World didn't. I mean, I enjoy Brave New World more than maybe any.
I liked it. I thought it was fine.
Yeah, it was. I didn't like the way they dealt with the Thinker, and I thought they underplayed Red Hulk and then shuttled Red Hulk off the board really quickly. And there was no Green Hulk, which I don't know why you couldn't have done that. But
I think the biggest issue was there was a sequel to a movie that was like 15 years old or some shit. It was a sequel to like the first Hulk movie. I'm like, dude, why are you doing that? I think that was my biggest issue.
Yeah, because you only brought back the Thinker from the first Hulk movie. but I guess in considering it was really technically a sequel to Falcon and the Winter Soldier in many ways.
Kind of, yes. Yeah.
Because it kind of picks up with the Wakandan suit that he got from them. And it was his first time really, out in the public being Captain America as opposed to being Falcon with the Captain America shield. I thought that opening sequence of him doing the dogfight with the Russian planes was amazing. Yeah. I thought they sold the hell out of that dogfight, and they did a really good job of that part of the marketing. I love that they brought Isaiah Bradley in there.
Yes.
There was a lot to like about that movie. Mm-hmm. And I think when you consider the sub-franchises within the overall Marvel franchise, Captain America still has the most solid franchise with the name Captain America out of all of the other movies. There aren't any bad Captain America.
No. There aren't. And look, I'm happy for Marvel, just because as a comic fan, as you know, a lifelong comic collector for the most part, I like seeing anything win. I'm a fan of the new Clayface trailer, which dropped. Mm-hmm. I think that shows a much better look at the Clayface film and what we're going to see. So that's a film that, although it's giving me Sony Venomville vibes as far as like, so are you making him an anti-hero? Like, what are we doing here? Because all of a sudden they're from being a horror
and where's Batman
thing and where's Batman? Yes. So it's like, okay, but I like it. I like the trailer, and now I'm probably more into going to see it than before.
So movie guy 19 says he was more interested to see if Deadpool was shown, and you probably, movie guy, were able to see the footage of Ryan Reynolds in his X-Force version of the Deadpool costume, the matte gray and black as opposed to the red and black, posing some questions, which seemed to imply, if you watch the full clip, it seemed to imply that Deadpool did not make an appearance in Doomsday because he asked the question when they were going to start shooting, and Robert Downey Jr. says we're already wrapped. And so Ryan in costume says, oh, so no like reshoots and stuff like that.
But
the challenge is that according to what we've seen in terms of leaks and plot details and things like that, Deadpool and Wolverine are an important part to kick off Doomsday. So whether or not that is true, whether or not it's just, Feige and Ryan playing games, it's clear that Deadpool is not going to be a focus. And Deadpool was not a focus of the first Secret Wars at all. Not even a player in the first Secret Wars. Not at all.
Yeah.
But, if you're throwing in the kitchen sink and you're bringing in Gambit from Deadpool's last movie.
And Loki, who was also a part of that.
Right.
The TVA is part of that. Yes.
Correct. It's not the worst idea in the world to drop Deadpool in there for a few seconds. I'd rather Deadpool than Ant-Man, quite frankly.
Well, there are a couple of leaks that came out from Hall H that we were not privy to, that we did not get to see, of all the video footage that came out. And there are some confirmations that came from Feige that that Ryan Reynolds' appearance in Hall H was not just happenstance, and it wasn't just because he wanted to show up. And that he confirmed, he said, so yeah, you'll be seeing Deadpool. And he also said that we will actually be seeing Haley Atwell. And he confirmed another film that they did not have the presentation ready for Hall H, but he confirmed that the Nova film is the third film that's going to be coming out in 2028. So we'll be getting Ghost Rider, Nova, and Black Panther 3.
I don't know how they're going to pull that one off.
You know what?
We shall see. We shall see.
I guess,
and that's in addition to the mutant saga, which kicks off. So we're going to be seeing mutants all over the damn place in 2028.
I don't know if the success or failure of Lanterns will put a dampener on Nova. I like the Nova character, but the Nova Corps as like Marvel's kind of sort of version of the Lantern Corps, I've never really bought off on it like that. I liked Nova as a single character.
Yeah.
I don't buy it in this. They always seem to be more Xandarian focused as opposed to the cops. You know, Quasar was kind of a part of that adjacent world, and Quasar, I think, is a more interesting character than, you know, oh, the guy claps the bands and then he transforms and he gets superpowers. And I mean, I'm not as interested in the Marvel version of the intergalactic whatever. Outside of Silver Surfer, outside of some of the people that are, I'd love to see Warlock again, because I like that segment of the kind of galactic version of. I'd love to see the Shi'ar finally when we get X-Men. I'd like to see some of that. But the Kree haven't been handled particularly well. The Skrulls haven't been handled particularly well. Nope. We haven't seen an MCU Phoenix saga, and I don't know that we need to. I mean, there's a lot that would go into doing that.
Lord, I would hope
I just don't know. You can't do Hellfire Club without a lot.
But this is supposed to be the Richard Rider Nova story. It's not necessarily.
The whole core.
I don't think they're going the core space cop, you know, route. I think they're going to try to tell an intergalactic story involving Richard Rider and taking us further into space, but not necessarily, at least from all reports thus far, this is not going to be a Nova core story. So,
well, I mean, all I will say is, Kevin Feige, look at one of your weakest performing movies that took place off Earth, which is the Marvels. Ain't shit out there people want to see, my boy.
Yeah.
Get us back to Earth. Yeah. Get us back to some of the characters we really like.
Thank you.
And keep it there. If Lanterns does super duper well and the space cop thing can be developed, I think that's fine. But without the space cop angle, Richard Rider is Icarus by himself.
By himself, yeah.
Well,
I just don't know that we need another flying guy who shoots beams.
Well, I think that you touched upon somebody who is noticeably missing from who's not coming back is from the Marvels was Monica.
No, she is coming back.
She's coming back.
No. It posted. Sure? Yeah, they posted and someone asked specifically, where is she? And she's like, yeah.
Well, she's with the X-Men, obviously, but
no, and that was the big gripe, is for her not to be coming back, and she is posted and she is with the X-Men. How do you fill this in?
And she's with those X-Men. She's with the X-Men that we're seeing.
Yeah, so binary. I don't know.
Like she was with that
show up.
The what's called Hank the Hank McCoy that we saw the last time we saw her. She was with the X-Men that we know. So
he's Marvel the original updates. Hank McCoy from that continuity.
Yeah.
Marvel updates. They asked Teyana Paris on Monica Rambeau's future in the MCU and says, I miss Monica as much as you guys. I wish her well, and I'm excited to see what they do next.
Okay, I don't buy that. I don't trust anybody. People have lied before. I'm just saying. Andrew Garfield said, guys, I'm not in it.
Right. So did Tobey Maguire.
Exactly. I'm not in it.
I'm just pointing it out.
I know. Well, I don't trust anybody.
I'm dead.
What we do know is that Patrick Stewart and that Magneto are from the same universe that she's trapped in. And that's so true. They're not going to leave her trapped in that universe because that universe dies. So from my understanding, her ability to open up the portals, because that's how she kind of got into that universe anyway, her light powers or whatever are going to have something to do. Now, whether or not she's sidelined, there are a lot of characters in here. I don't know that we need as many super soldier underpowered characters in this story, like Yelena, like Red Soldier, like Guardian. Bucky, like, the new Falcon.
I think most of these folks are all going to get it. I think they're going to get it. I think we're seeing a lot of cannon fodder.
Right, Sentry is not easy to dispatch, but there's no way Ghost is a threat or a factor in Doomsday. There just isn't. You've got these bodies.
But if somehow Daredevil can catch Doom in a hallway, that's a wrap, brother. That's a wrap.
There was. I saw an article that was saying how Doom is kind of like the Batman of the Marvel universe in terms of thinking ahead and having countermeasures. Like, he has pieces of the one true cross incorporated into his armor just in case Dracula tries to come for him. Like, this is Captain Countermeasure is who he is. And so clearly the very fact that he was able to stop Stormbringer with 2 fingers is an indication that he was kind of on top of what he was going to be dealing with when he came into this universe. And so I think this last trailer, especially, although that one scene was in the trailer that was less well received, I think this is going a long way to building up the anticipation for Doomsday. And I think that's perfectly great. What did you all think about Ghost Ryan?
I like Ghost Rider. I like Ghost Rider. And I like Ryan Gosling.
I said Ghost. Ghost Ryan.
No, I know.
Yeah, sure.
Fine. That works, baby. That works.
No, it's the same thing. I mean, Ryan Gosling as Ghost Rider. I mean, he has actually been championing for that role for a while. It's been rumored for a long time that he had been having meetings with them about taking on the role, and I like it. I think Ryan Gosling is a capable actor, and I think he's probably more suited as the reluctant hero than he is as being a full-on wannabe action star. And whether it be Johnny Blaze or Dan Ketch, neither was a hero. Neither wanted the role. They both inherited it. And I think Ryan Gosling can play that. I just finished watching that Project Save the Sun movie. What the hell was that shit called?
Hail Mary.
Hail Mary. And that was quite possibly one of the funniest, cutest, end of days space movies I've seen. I mean, I thought that he was really, really good as the reluctant, unwilling, hero. He was a comedic. He was very fun. And I said to myself, wow, this guy does better when he's not trying to be an action lead. And his role as, again, either Johnny Storm or Dan Ketch, either one, neither are characters who are about that life. Neither one are. And so for either of those characters to be unwillingly pulled into this role, and Ghost Rider is an absolutely insanely powerful character. Ghost Rider, like my top tier characters, he's one of them. Like, I love the street level characters that dispatch justice in the hood. I like characters like that. I think that he's really good for the role. He looks the part. Shit.
Is he playing Johnny Blaze or is he playing somebody else?
They haven't revealed which one.
Blaze, right? I mean, here's my challenge. Ryan Gosling is a very charismatic actor. Obviously, his stock went way up after Barbie and was held strong with Project Hail Mary, which was, I think, a surprise hit. I don't think people thought it was going to do as well as it did. And then you have him playing a stuntman in the Fall Guy movie, and Johnny Blaze was a stunt guy. My challenge is that Ghost Rider has leveled up a lot since Johnny Blaze was the first guy, and the penance stare, and now he's got world dimension bending power and all that other sort of stuff. It kind of feels, if Ryan is going to play it light, if this is early in the career of being possessed by this demon, and he's just now getting familiar, kind of the way that Nicolas Cage did when he was first doing it, and there was space for Nick to still be kind of Nick and still do the thing. We've had 2 Ghost Rider movies. Maybe we've had 3. And we've had 3. Robbie Reyes on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
And I liked
2 Nick Cages and 1 bootleg one, I think. But and I like Robbie Reyes, but it was different. And now it's coming to the big screen. And I know in the chat we were talking about how unbelievable it was that we're getting Ghost Rider before we get Blade. And I think it does play into the idea. Yeah. Well, I think it plays into the idea that he's going to anchor the Midnight Suns, and they're going to creep Blade into the Midnight Suns. And
That's
I partially
so
blame,
disrespectful.
I understand.
I just have to say this.
You don't think Wesley Snipes being as popular as he was in Deadpool versus Wolverine had something to do with them not wanting to replace him with Mahershala right away? I know it was delayed before Deadpool, but when all those people came back and Blade White, and there was never going to be another Blade, all of that shit, the fans went nuts. They loved that shit. And so I can understand how you want to do something a little bit more delicate, especially since you're trying to rebuild from kind of the ashes that the current MCU is.
Yeah.
I don't know that bringing in Mahershala as Blade makes as much sense as I thought it might before we had 7 films in a row that didn't do well.
Okay. I just didn't
meet expectations.
I just need to say this. I just think it's mad disrespectful that we get a Ghost Rider movie before a Blade movie. It is ridiculous. Why is it so hard? You say it's easier to make a Ghost Rider movie than it is a Blade movie? Really?
No, I think Ryan Gosling is white and super popular, and Mahershala's last 2 movies tanked.
But it's Blade.
I understand it's Blade.
But I will say, but I also think that.
But it's Mahershala.
There's a couple things too. Eternals, like the hint from Eternals at the end, and then
that movie made $50 million.
And then Moon Knight. If Moon Knight's not coming back, and then I'm not saying that this is an excuse, but if Moon Knight's not coming back, and then we get an allude in Eternals, and where is that going to take us? Not saying I want them to come back, but it just kind of left it kind of this openness to where I don't know. I'm just saying, where does he fit in? And maybe this is the issue that they said last week when Kevin Feige did his apology. Maybe he was trying to get ahead of the story that Blade was not going to come in.
Listen,
well, I mean, look, I just hope that hope that this does not mean Blade is off the table. It is an insanely easy story to do. It can be straight up just nonstop.
That's what it is.
Killing.
It is.
Well, one of the things is that Blade kind of kicked off the resurgence of vampire intrigue, and now you had the entire Twilight series. You've had Interview with the Vampire, 2 seasons on TV. You've had the originals. You've had all of these vampire shows. You've got Queen of the Damned about to come out. Maybe the idea of a singular vampire hunter isn't as compelling as it might have been if they were able to pick it up 5 years ago or whenever it was first teased.
That's a good point, too.
I don't know. I would love to see Mahershala Ali as Blade. I would. But I think to Liz's point, you've got Moon Knight from the TV universe, and you're now bringing the 4th, or technically the 5th iteration of Ghost Rider. You had the one Werewolf by Night one shot, which also included Man Thing, and you've got this Blade character in search of a story that makes sense, and then you've got the success of Sinners, and so maybe vampires are coming back in a big way. But if you wanted to hedge your bets and you think you might have a better chance doing a teen movie to appeal to a broader demographic of people who might go in for it, then it's not the worst idea in the world to bring a supernatural teen to the big screen eventually. And if you introduce Blade,
we would love. I would love Midnight Suns. I would love a Midnight Suns story. Right. I just think, just in general, I think and again, this is not. I'm not trying to tear down Ghost Rider or I think Sean Levy is a great filmmaker, and I think that him and Ryan Gosling they'll probably do fine. I just need, for me, it just, because Ghost Rider comes from that same universe, right? I think it just, for me, it comes off as McBain said, mad disrespectful for you to announce Blade in, what was that, 2019?
Yeah,
2019 at Comic-Con
before Fantastic Four,
and That's true.
Yeah, and then we go through all this time and all these different movies that have dropped, and to just blame it on, oh, we couldn't get the script right. That's crazy. That's crazy work. That like, I don't even understand a film company saying that about this character. And I get that Wesley Snipes coming back in Deadpool Wolverine, and even the campaign from Ryan Reynolds himself going online and social media saying hashtag bring Wesley back as Blade. Like, yeah, that all of that did not help Mahershala Ali's case. But you're telling me that in this massive MCU think tank, Kevin Feige revealed that him and his team, this is Kevin Feige, said him and his team have mapped out MCU projects, both television and film, all the way till 2032. Okay, all the way to 2030. You're telling me you and your crew sat down and mapped stuff out to 2032, and Blade is not coming before Ghost Rider. So in your plans, you said, yeah, you know what though? We're gonna have to drop this Ghost Rider first.
See,
that to me is why it reads foul.
I think what also moved it is the Eternals lack of the meh reception, and then Moon Knight. Home Dude is not. We don't know if he said he's not going to do it again. I mean, I know that.
Yeah, but I don't. Oscar Isaacs. But I don't know if one. Very few people, if anyone, recognized that was Mahershala Ali. They had to have a whole press thing to say, no, that was Mahershala Ali's voice. He wasn't seen. He was just heard. It was off screen, and he had one line. That's not enough to derail that one little moment in Eternals, which really and truly, it took weeks on end for people to actually figure out what that was or what that was about. Even that Kit Harington was going to be the Black Knight, and that's the Ebony Blade, still having nothing necessarily to do with Blade. Having none of those things could have possibly been enough to derail a Blade movie. Why? Because the Blade hype was real. When Mahershala Ali stepped out on stage, I remember I was screaming when I saw that. I was like, oh yes. And the fan base agreed that we were ready for this and ready for him to do it. So it's like there's nothing that's come out that would say that there's a lack of desire to see a new Blade film or to see Mahershala as Blade. All we've heard is from the studio with all their excuses for, well, this director didn't work and this story didn't work. Look, hell, the Blade Back in Time story, no one wanted to see that, making it a period piece. No one wanted to see that, and they went on and gave all those costumes that they had for that film to Ryan Coogler for Sinners. That's where they got all those costumes and everything they had. All those were taken from the Blade set. Kevin Feige confirmed it. Ryan Coogler confirmed it. He said, hey, I went over to him. I told him I'm working on this period vampire piece. Feige was like, we were going to do something with Blade like that. You can go over to the lot, take everything. We're good. We're not going to do that story.
They've wasted so much time.
All these missteps. Yes.
Mahershala Ali was hot back in 2019. Hot. He was so hot. He literally called Kevin Feige and said, look, I want to be Blade. And Feige's like, okay, it's yours. That's how fucking huge he was. And they fucking blew that shit.
Yeah.
I mean, he definitely had his MCU experience as Cottonmouth was definitely a good thing for him to be in the family. But, and he got an Oscar for his
don't you call me Cottonmouth,
relatively small role in a small independent film with Black LGBTQ themes, notwithstanding. And I think Mahershala is great, and Green Book obviously was a seminal moment in his career. At the end of the day, the last big budget movie attached to Mahershala Ali was an absolute complete failure. Whereas with Ryan Gosling, his last two projects, one was $1 billion and one significantly outperformed expectations.
Yeah.
So it, from a business case, not from a fan service case, not from a character respect case, not from anything like that. From a business case, it definitely makes sense for Disney, who has had an underperforming set of films in the last several movies. And incidentally, The Marvels has the lowest worldwide gross of any Marvel movie, period. Even lower than the Hulk. And so there haven't been many movies since Endgame, with the exception, obviously, No Way Home. But since then, relatively few of these MCU movies have even broken 500 million. And even fewer of them have broken 600 million. And so when you think about, if you wanted to do a Blade film with a budget of $20 million, like the first Blade film, I bet you it would be made. But if you're looking for a $200 million budget for a single character based on vampires, I'm not sure it makes as much sense, because Blade 3 Trinity was not what people hoped for.
Okay, but as of right
now...
So
wait a second.
Wait. I want to say is this. If they would have done it right, do it right now, Tom, I see your point. But they didn't strike when the iron was hot. That's my point.
I don't disagree. And we saw what was coming out of the House of Marvel when they said that they were going to release this movie. And there's no guarantee that it would have done any better than any of the other failures of that period of time.
So you're saying that his failure film was Jurassic World? Is what we're saying?
He had a movie totally based on him about an African warlord leader, a period piece.
That was a long time ago.
That was huge.
I did like him and leave the world. I did like him and Leave the World Behind. That was what on Netflix, but that was a few years ago. But last year was Jurassic World Rebirth, which,
well, yeah, that didn't do shit either.
I
actually watched that film with my daughter.
It was much better. It was much better than Dominion or Domination or whatever the hell the
it was better than all the Chris Pratt movies.
It was. Yeah. I don't disagree. But audiences,
well, he'll be there next year. Yeah. I mean, he's in Spider-Man next year, so
he is.
That's coming out. Yeah, Spider-Man, because he's the dad.
Yeah.
Wait, he's whose dad?
In the animated, in the Beyond Spider-Verse.
Oh, you're talking about Spider-Verse.
Spider-Verse. I'm talking about live action. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. No.
I was confused for a second. No. So so anyway, we're almost to an hour. Can we get to the Black Panther shit?
The big news, yes, the biggest news that dropped, with no more beating around the bush and getting to it, because this is what I was getting DMs about. Are we going to discuss the mega bombshell news that dropped that Black Panther 3 is not only underway and shooting, but they have found their T'Challa, or son of T'Challa. And of course, as all cases or all instances happen, the fan casting backlash is out of control. Who is he? What is this? Why does he deserve it? And to me, I look at all the people, all the naysayers. Yes, I did not see The Long Road, but for me, the only thing I liked about Alien Romulus was him. The Long Walk, but he is a new up and coming actor, and from now new reports, this is a casting that happened some 6 months ago after a private meeting, and when Ryan Coogler, man responsible for these films that we know and love, Ryan Coogler has not let us down yet. Even when he first cast Chadwick Boseman for T'Challa, there was a lot of pushback and hate then, because everyone had all type of ideas of who could have been it.
Because think about it too. Think about I love Chadwick Boseman.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But there were some of his bio like hadn't always been nicely received.
He was not who he was. He was not who he was after Black Panther, and argue, we can say, like, his next outing after Black Panther was that 21 Bridges, which was trash. The Five Bloods, his role in Five Bloods was great, but who saw Five Bloods? Who saw Mamie's?
Well, listen. So he was very good and effective in 42.
Yes.
Less effective in the James Brown biopic.
James Brown, yeah.
Miscast in the Thurgood Marshall biopic.
I mean,
my God, yeah.
Thurgood Marshall was famously light-skinned. And so this was the Jon Stewart flip.
Yeah, this was crazy.
Thurgood
now
Marshall.
I know why you really mad. Now I know why you really don't like it.
Except that Thurgood Marshall was a real human who even when he was young as a lawyer for the Legal Defense Fund was still a little jowly. And Chad Boseman was not well cast in that movie. He's a good
horrifically cast.
But physically, Harry Lennox or somebody like that was probably a better fit. Or the guy who played Malcolm X in the Bumpy Johnson Johnson series on whatever that show is with Forrest Whitaker. But Captain America Civil War introduced the character, and Black Panther catapulted him.
Yeah, he was born. Yes,
it was absolutely amazing. And so, yes, it was going to be sensitive. But I think to your point, Twala, and I was in a back and forth with somebody on Facebook today. He made Michael B. Jordan a star.
Yeah. Yes, he did.
And he made Chadwick Boseman a star.
Yeah.
And this guy, to have a relatively thin resume, he's got really strong performances. In The Long Walk, they flipped the whole thing of The Long Walk to make him the winner.
Okay, pump the brakes, Tom. I disagree that he has a thin resume, because when y'all talk about this other stuff he was in, that's not where I know him from. I know him from The Industry on HBO. And I also know
British
him
show.
From, okay. I also know him from Bonhoeffer. When I tell you I loved Bonhoeffer, I mean, it was such a good movie. I highly recommend watching Bonhoeffer because it deals with it's a Nazi film, and it deals with how the Lutherans handled and was the first ones to speak out against the church. I mean, speak out against Hitler, and it was a powerful film. But my point is that I've seen him. He pops up quite a bit. He may not be the lead in a lot of stuff, but he pops up as a nice little background character or a secondary character throughout. I'm just saying.
Well, but I think there's a difference between being a secondary character and being in a lead role. And so his lead roles are relatively thin.
Okay,
and
now
so,
that one I give you.
But all of them are effective performances. Like Twala said, best part of Alien Romulus, hands down. Amazing. And in The Long Walk, it's basically a 2-person movie with an ensemble supporting cast. And he was supremely effective in that. And then Waste Man, for which he got a Rising New Star BAFTA nomination, which is another basically 2-man movie. And then, his appearances and things like Bonhoeffer and all these other sorts of things are well and good. But the point is that Michael B. Jordan had a lot of roles before he connected with Coogler in Fruitvale Station. And now Michael B. Jordan's top 6 grossing movies are all Coogler related projects.
Yeah.
Hands down. And none of his work outside of Coogler is even close.
True.
And Sinners is the lowest grossing of the top 6. And it's still almost 200 million more than his next closest film. So, Fruitvale Station obviously is way.
Fruitvale Station is amazing.
Yeah, that's a different category. But Fruitvale Station was a very good way to leverage his character from The Wire, which was a street level character with a tragic end. Going into Fruitvale, it was a very logical path, and it worked. And because it made so much money comparatively on a very slender budget, it empowered Coogler to do some other things. And the other things that he did ended up working with Creed, and then, of course, Black Panther, which was just a love fest for everybody involved. And even though he wasn't as big a character in Black Panther 2, Black Panther 2 is his second highest grossing film. So The point is that I trust Coogler. Nobody knew what Sinners was going to be. It ended up being a $350 million Oscar juggernaut. If he says this is the guy to play T'Challa II, then I trust Coogler. There's nobody else in Marvel that I trust as much as I trust Ryan Coogler as a writer.
Absolutely.
I agree.
Someone put a picture of the two of them as his parent, and he would be the parent. I mean, he would be the product of the two, and it fits. I mean, he looks like he's he could be somewhat related to the two of them. I think that I'm annoyed by the people who are arguing that he should have been an American. Who cares?
Well, how about no, he shouldn't. Wakanda is an African country, and both he and Damson Idris have actual African ancestry. And as I put in my Facebook post, British actors, black or white, have to do accent work because almost all of their roles are going to be in American films. Their big roles are going to be in American films. So they have to do accent work. And Damson and Johnson live around people who talk with African accents. And so it's going to be easier for them. Now, Chadwick just did a lot of work, and so he sounded fine. You know who didn't sound like he was at all African in Black Panther? Michael B. Jordan.
Well, he wasn't. He was
forever.
His daddy was Wakandan.
Yeah, but he was born and raised in.
I understand that.
Oakland.
And if you have a father who was born speaking another language, it rubs off on you.
Yeah.
And
listen, look,
everybody else in that movie was able, when he came back to Wakanda.
I don't.
He should have been able to sound. He had the tattoo. He didn't get that tattoo.
And I mean, come on, Liz. You act like you don't know American-born kids to Jamaican parents who cannot flip that patois on you in a minute.
They code switch all the damn time.
All the time.
He died when he was young. I don't know. And then his dad was he was infiltrating. He was not even trying to appear that he was black. The person who didn't have an African American,
that's a solid point. That's a solid point.
Who didn't sound like he had an African accent was his daddy. Because and I love him. I love Sterling Brown. But Sterling Brown was born, raised in Wakanda. And he didn't have not one African little bone of an accent at all.
All I'm saying is T'Challa is African. And so he's got to be able to have a credible African accent. Even though it's kind of built off Kosa. But Damson Idris is of Nigerian extraction, and David Johnson is of Sierra Leonean and some other thing in addition to his Swedish, where I guess Johnson comes from. But the point is that I don't have a problem with them not being American. It would have been fine if you had somebody who could do it. Chadwick Boseman could do it. But I don't think for an international character, the fact that he's not American is a factor at all.
Okay, yeah, those people are idiots. My question is this. When does this movie take place? I'm guessing there's some type of a time jump.
Good question.
Well, what my guess is that Doom shenanigans age him outside of everybody else. It does not take 20 years. It does not take place 20 years in the future. So I think between Doomsday, because Doomsday has absolute control over reality, and then Secret Wars, where again, he is still going to have absolute control of reality. I think he's going to be aged up at some point. Either because
and they said that Feige, one of the things he said at Comic-Con was that Secret Wars, while it does not reset, he said, for everyone thinking that Secret Wars resets the MCU, it doesn't. He says it just streamlines everything by bringing all the various universes, every single thing that Disney owns, all the other properties. There's not going to be, it's just one studio now. And so in order to do that, they're bringing in every single thing. And that's why I love his nod to Miles Morales saying, after the ultimate, this next Ultimate film, we definitely have to bring Miles in. So that to me says that there's been some good movement with the Sony workings. But yeah, I saw that age wise, I'm like, maybe a younger actor, because the last time we saw this kid, he was a kid. And if you're going to jump everyone that far into the future, everyone should be older, and then not everyone looks older. So so the timeline, all that stuff is going to have to come together in a world where he's just older. So
he's 32, but he looks younger, and I think that plays to his benefit. Just like a lot of actors who have longevity in the business, they look younger than their actual age. Like Tom Holland is still a credible 20-year-old on camera.
Yeah.
He still looks really young. And so even though he's in his 30s or whatever. Well, so I think it's so he's in his 30s. So the point is that you have this guy in the movie. He was like 5.5 because T'Challa impregnated Nakia before the snap. And so you got 9 months, and then so he's like 4-ish, and then we don't know how long after the snap came back. 5 years later, we know everybody came back, but we don't know how long after the snap comes back that the events of Black Panther take place. So he could be as young as 5. He might be as old as 6. And so if he's supposed to play 20 or 22, then you've got a 14 to 16 year age jump. And to me, if Dr. Doom decides he needs to ensnare Shuri into a conflict and he steals him away, and then the next time we see him is nephew, and he's grown up and under the thrall of Doom, and then it's broken, but he's still old, then that works. And it frees up the whole Nakia love triangle, because Coogler is supposed to be introducing Storm, and the only reason to introduce Storm is to put Storm and Black Panther together, even if it's their first meeting before they start a romance. You want to set the stage for a younger Storm, who's definitely not Halle Berry, definitely not Cynthia Erivo, to be in a relationship with this guy who looks young enough to be in his 20s. And so I wish in the overall scheme of things, I wish we didn't have a Black Panther 2. I wish we had waited and done some other Wakandan adjacent stuff, like Eyes of Wakanda animated, set a series, like I said, Dora Milaje and Black Widows during the snap where they're running around the world. I would have watched that. Alias times 20. Yes, I would have watched that show in a heartbeat. And then by the time we get back to where we are now, Chadwick has been dead for a number of years. And as we reinvigorate the franchise, then you can bring a new actor back, just like you did with replacing William Hurt with Harrison Ford. On the other hand, they apparently wanted Namor for Doomsday. And Namor made his appearance in Black Panther 2. He was going to do it when Chadwick was in it, and they kept him in it when Chadwick was not in it. And there wasn't any other movie to introduce him. And so I guess we had to have it the way we had it. Given what we have now. Huh?
I know I differ from you when it comes to this issue, so I don't want to belabor the point. I appreciate it the way they did it.
No, it's fine. It is what it is. So my feelings aside, that doesn't matter anymore, because we got the movies we got. And so this is the solution. And as a solution, other than the fact that it leaves open this whole how the hell does he get old enough to be Black Panther question.
Oh yeah.
We know in comic books aging works weird anyway, and stature has definitely aged a lot in the Ant-Man universe.
She went from a kid to a full grown ass like within a film. Yeah.
And so there's a lot going on, but at the end of the day, I think he's well cast. I need him to go on ahead and get into the gym, and I need him to work on some expressions where he's not looking mopey. I need him to look a little bit more heroic. I need a good production still of him. He doesn't even need to be in the costume, but maybe with a crown on. Maybe with Shuri standing by him with her arm on his shoulder, and then with M'Baku, framed in between with some sort of ceremonial garb.
And then we got Denzel Washington.
Yeah, I don't know what Denzel would be. I mean, a ghost of a previous Panther. I mean, that could certainly work.
I think I think he's gonna have. I mean, for Denzel Washington, I imagine he's I
don't know who he could be. I don't know.
Yeah,
and again, not a guy who's very good with accent work. Let's be
that where I have to.
Oh hell!
His
hell! He better not.
The Mighty Quinn. He needs to be a mute.
And he said,
a scar on his throat.
He said, and I don't care. I am Denzel. Yeah. I have earned the role to be who the hell I am. Yeah. I don't need to do an accent.
Yeah, whoever he is, he's gonna have to be someone American. Which
he could be Moses Magnum.
He could. He absolutely could. That would be a good choice. And I know he's probably too old to do it. I just think it would be dope if he did. But if he was Blue Marvel, that would absolutely work with his,
He's too old for Blue Marvel.
That's what I'm saying. He's too old. He's way too old for Blue Marvel. And
it makes me wonder if Ryan would like to put Blue Marvel in something. Though. It does make me wonder that.
I'm available
because they made Larry Fishburne Black Goliath, and then just didn't really use him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so our day one, I have to call you out. Riri, our day one in the chat, has never seen Black Panther.
I've been looking at this. I've been looking incredulously at this chat, and you talking to Riri. Shame on you.
I don't know how that happened.
Shame on you, Riri.
I don't know how he was able to get away with that. I mean, we had.
Wait, first of all, how do you see Harriet 8 times and you haven't seen Black Panther? Have you seen Sinners, Riri? Where are you at?
And she didn't see Wakanda Forever. I mean, we were and I have watched Wakanda Forever outside of the theaters, and every time I watch
I watched it just last week.
Better.
You know what I'm saying? Like I watch it multiple times over and over.
Like, this is
I watched the trailer nonstop. That's one of my favorite trailers ever made. That No Woman No Cry trailer they did for that.
That was great.
Is
stunning. and I feel like the woman still got robbed. She should have got an Oscar for that.
Yes,
that part just alone. But whatever,
Are you talking about woman?
No, she grabbed. No,
Angela Bassett.
Angela
Bassett. Yeah, she got robbed. She got robbed.
Yeah,
robbed.
She definitely did. And again, for those of you hating on the Brits, Wunmi was amazing in Sinners. So.
Yeah, that's fair.
Leave the black Brits alone, please.
And then Ryan
look. Even though Drewski's skit, still every time I watch it, Drewski's skit has me on the ground.
The Joe Jackson skit alone.
That Joe Jackson.
You know what?
The flashbacks I got.
I still think that his peak skit is still the Erica Kirk thing.
That's good too.
Because he leaned onto the belt a lot with Joe. It felt one note to me. The makeup was great, but it was very, very one note. And whereas with Erica Kirk, he explored different things throughout the skit. And I just felt it kind of hit a little bit harder. Not to mention that he was parodying Coleman Domingo's portrayal of Joe more than he was directly parodying Joe. And so I already have Coleman Domingo. And Coleman Domingo's getting an Oscar nomination.
But to think of so to respond really to Riri, Denzel, you cannot. Don Cheadle, I love Don Cheadle too, but Don Cheadle was still not Denzel. And so when Denzel picks up the phone and says, "I want to be in a Black Panther movie," I don't see how Ryan Coogler is going to be like, no. Don Cheadle.
Don Cheadle's English accent in Oceans was not super.
Yeah, but Don Cheadle. He's already in the MCU, and they have dropped. I think probably for me one of the most disappointing rumors. I hope this is just rumor and there is no truth to this at all, but they have said that they are still moving forward with Armor Wars, which at first that was going to be the War Machine series, and it was going to involve Riri. They were going to do the whole Armor Wars series. they said that when looking at the story, when they started really putting it together, it actually looks better as a film, and they still had Rhodey and still with some assistance from Riri that she's still supposed to be making an appearance in that. But they've said, now this is the latest rumor, and I'm like, please God, no, is that they're looking. No. Oh no, okay. not just Frank Castle getting a suit, because I saw that and I was like, fuck out of here. But they have been talking about now a re-envisioning of Tony Stark. And I said, what? Eat my ass, you bastards.
Do Wait, what?
Dare. Yes. Wait, I promise you.
How does what does that mean?
Tom, look it up. It's out there right now.
No, I don't want any bad Marvel taste in my mouth. I'm happy right now. I ain't looking up that shit. That's bullshit.
I'm just saying. When I saw that, Rocky, I almost threw my phone across the room.
I just want to say this, Baraki Giles, because he was talking about my whole thing with the accent. What we're forgetting about Eric Killmonger is that he was a CIA trained operative who was specifically oriented toward toppling governments and doing infiltration. If that doesn't require a measure of accent work to fit in, since you're a black operative, I call bullshit.
And he was in primarily throughout Africa, because he had said so. That's him saying so. The places where he went, where he killed people that look like me, as he said, all over the world, he named off places that are within the continent of Africa. So.
And even though his girlfriend was American, he was killing a lot of people in Africa and had all that ritualistic scarification. Don't play with me. He should have been able to do a better accent. Sorry. Maybe it was those veneers. Anyway.
But yes. Look, before we get too far along, I definitely want to hear what y'all watching, because Tom, I took your suggestion and I started binge watching. Last night I started binge watching Agent Kim Reactivated, and I'm telling you, Tom, I've been watching it so long. It was like maybe 2-3 o'clock in the morning. I'm still watching, and I got to the end of episode 7, and I was like, the fuck? What are we doing right now? And I forgot. And then I scrolled up and there's another episode. So I said, oh, okay. All right. Okay. I got to go to sleep. So I stopped on episode 7 thinking that was it. And I was like, you're not. And I said to myself, now I see exactly what Tom was talking about. Cause it's like cause that episode 7 ends so like with such a final note to it. You're almost like, damn, that's crazy. But no, there's a whole nother episode that I'm gonna start as soon as we get off. But
Agent Kim Reactivated, 2 more after that. There's really 2 more episodes after 8, bro. Because when you watch 7 and you're like, oh, what is going on? When you watch 8, it's like, oh my gosh, this is the season 2 cliffhanger, and there's 2 more episodes. There's 10 episodes in the season.
Okay. I didn't even know that. Okay. I thought my next episode to right now is about to be the final. Okay. Yeah.
No, it is, and 9 is already dropped. So 10 doesn't drop until this coming Friday. And that's it.
Snap. Okay.
Yeah, so they're not all out
I'm all the way in. I'm all the way in. That show is phenomenal. I really, really like the acting. I'm of course watching it with the subtitles, but I love all the characters, and I think it is a great Netflix show. Just the storyline. I'm trying to tell you that last episode I watched, it had me in my feelings, man. Him and his daughter sitting there going, I was like, oh snap. I was like, wow, that actually messed me up a little bit. I was like, damn.
It was kind of like the Daredevil ending where he's with with what's her name in the restaurant.
Absolutely. A lot more emotion, but yeah, absolutely. So Agent Kim Reactivated, that's my joint right now. I'm definitely watching it. What else you watching, Tom?
Well, because of the recent turn of events and the trailers that I've watched, I'm going to start watching Dark Matter. I didn't watch the first season when it came out. They're about to drop season 2, and it looks very interesting. I like high concept, and it's also an indication that, I guess, starting with Orphan Black, the whole idea of multiverse or multiple copies of people doing things, and there have been a couple of different movies that have played with that conceit. And Dark Matter is actually, I think, a multiverse tool. I'm not exactly what it is, And in the second season, apparently they exploded a lot more and make it a lot bigger. But I like what I've seen so far. I like the actors that I've seen in it. We haven't seen Jennifer Connelly in a role like this, I think, since Dark City. So it's interesting that she's in Dark Matter now. And I guess she got her Oscar in that schizophrenic movie, right? With A Beautiful Mind. Is that where she got her Oscar?
Oh, yeah.
So, she's got some good credits and she appears to be strong in this. So that's what I'm about to start. And I've also geared up Wasteman. I want to watch that again in the aftermath of the Johnson thing. And I may just watch Romulus and watch The Long Walk again. The Long Walk is the easiest, I think, of his films.
The Industry. He has a good role. He has a good role in it.
No, I understand. But I am going to watch Dark Matter before I watch Industry, because I don't need to. Inside baseball stuff is less appealing to me. But
that's fair.
No doubt.
I like talking trash about this stuff. So anyway,
now Liz, I know it's not dropped on Apple TV yet, so I look forward to your review of the Matchbox movie when it does come to Apple TV. It's a Apple film, and it'll be dropped straight to streaming there. So yeah, I look forward to your review on that. But what else is happening in the meantime and in between time?
There is a brand new movie on Apple TV, and it's called The Dink. And actually, I thought it's a really nice little movie that deals with what's happening with tennis. So even though tennis is still popular, but a lot of people have moved towards pickleball. And pickleball has kind of really taken over, and so a lot of tennis courts around the country is being converted into pickleball courts. And so this is what this movie is about. And the person who's in it is Ben Stiller has a very small role in it, but Ed Harris has a bigger role. I don't know if you noticed, Ed Harris just did this whole interview about he's being bold now, and he was talking about he was cast in one of the spinoffs movies that comes on Paramount, one of those Western movies, and he was upset. He was like, "What was I here for?" He tried to get himself out of it, and they claim that they're going to make him better. Anyway, clearly, this is kind of the movie that he's in, and it's Andy Roddick is in it. So just to give you a good picture of, there is a tennis theme here. Jake Johnson is the star of the movie. That I enjoyed it. People are not liking it as much as they're not liking it terribly, but I enjoyed it. And there's a new movie that came out, and I mentioned it to you guys, and I watched it. My daughter wanted to see it, so we went to see it. She thought it was going to be funny, and it's called Haunted Heist, and it's with Tiffany Haddish and Lil Elroy. Little Ray. It's in the movie theaters. Lil Ray is first.
But it's in theaters.
Yes, in theaters. It's one shot.
Let me look this shit because I'm like, what are you even talking about?
It should have been on BET. It is a little bit better than Tubi.
Damn.
A little bit better than Tubi, but not that much. And the whole time I kept thinking, man, how the mighty has fallen. You know, you go from, I think
Haunted Heist.
I think Ray has always struggled. I don't think he's found his footing. When he was hot for a second, and then he did that comedy special on HBO and at Gardena High School out here in LA, that was trash. I hate to tell you, I did not laugh, not one time. And I think he has just
it's got Batch in it. Batch is funny.
Yeah.
It's not that it's not
funny.
It's you will laugh, but you will still think this should not be in theaters. This is a BET Plus show. But I also will say, I also thought, man, Tiffany Haddish used to play in decent big budget movies. This is not a big budget movie.
You know, she got to eat. She got to eat.
Yeah, she has slid down to the bowels of terrible. and this is not. I mean,
look, I will say this for Tiffany Haddish that she loves what she does, and I give nothing but love to Tiffany Haddish just because she does work without looking for praise when no one's looking for it, and especially here in Altadena, she literally, her and her team, they came out to Dina to take over a supermarket up here, our supermarket, that only supermarket that didn't burn down, and literally just invited folks out to fill up their carts and paid for everything. You know, she bought out the whole store just for folks up here. So she's constantly doing things using her name and using her draw for causes and for righteous causes, and she's never like, hey, come out and see me, you know, I'm posting this on Twitter. Folks post the things that she does, and she's always like, well, cool, I thank you for letting folks know, but that's not why I'm doing it. And I think of everyone that's talked to Tiffany Haddish, she's one of those people who got put on and hasn't changed. So she's still Tiffany Haddish, and I think I can respect that she's not necessarily looking for big stuff. She's looking to keep doing what she loves doing, which is acting, you know, and telling these jokes.
I appreciate all that. I'm just telling you. The movie went from, I just kept thinking, wow, this must have been a passion project or a favor, because this movie was definitely a $10 budget that was in probably 5 theaters, and it should have went straight to streaming.
So all I will say is that I applaud any group of Black creatives that are able to get something,
I agree,
to big screens, especially in this environment where streaming is such a viable option, where Tubi is a free option. And I give enough grace to our Black creatives that we can do not excellent work and still get it produced. And if that ends up, if people end up making a little bit of money, because if it didn't have much of a budget, that means there weren't that many expectations. It's probably not going to do very well. But I remember a little movie called The Blackening, which I think probably had a similar budget, and there were some tolerable jokes in there. So Haunted Heist was not on my list of things that I was going to see, but because I'm A-list, I think I may be able to support it.
And this is I agree. That's why I won't give it it's a fun time. I don't think it's a waste of time completely. I'm just saying that, you know, measure your expectations. But I didn't realize that they filmed it in Berry Gordy's house. This is Berry Gordy's house in Detroit.
Boy. Okay.
That's fun.
The mansion.
That's dope. Okay. Look, that's dope. I think it's dope. And look, it's in theaters. Speaking of in theaters, and I'm surprised McBain hasn't been going crazy for this one. Pinocchio Unhinged.
I've seen the trailer.
McBain, like what's happening to McBain?
Hey, I'm all for it. It looks ridiculous. It's one of those movies that looks so stupid. I'm like, all right, I'm in. I know what I'm getting. I know this is gonna be stupid. I know Liz shaking his head. Liz, you're right. I know this, but sometimes I want to see some stupid, ignorant shit. That's what I want to see.
It looks like it. It looks like it is just absolute insanity. I saw that trailer and I'm like, wait, what? A Pinocchio horse? Wow.
Right. This is in the same family as the Winnie the Pooh thing and the Bambi thing and the Mickey Mouse thing. This is all expired Disney rights and that they're trying to capitalize off.
Yeah, good for them.
Yeah, nice.
What else you watching, McBain?
Your favorite TV show, X-Men '97. I've been watching that. I'm digging that. I saw the trailer for Neely and Jack season 4. I'm like, okay, I'm in.
Yeah.
I'm definitely all over for that. So that's pretty much it. I'm hurt that you don't like X-Men '97 like I like it.
Look, I may be the only one because they just greenlit that shit for another season. Season 4 is already in the works, and it'll be dropping next year. They're like, oh no, we're ready to drop another season next year. We're good.
So yeah, but
I saw Motor City too.
What is that?
It's another Alan Ritchson vehicle.
Oh, the one that has no dialogue in it, whether it's just music
almost
or something.
No dialogue, but yes.
Okay. I didn't get the concept, because for me, I was like, so wait, they're not talking throughout the whole movie?
That it's not a concept. It's a gimmick.
Oh.
And it's not even a gimmick. It's like they're working to not include dialogue when having dialogue would help to move the story forward. That said, it's a pretty straightforward revenge flick. There are echoes of Agent Kim reactivated in it, but there's not as much humor because it's a much more straight ahead revenge flick. And there's kind of odd time jumps. And anyway, I saw it.
Okay. All
right.
Cool. Well, I know next week is on and popping. I've got my tickets to see Spider-Man Brand New Day at 1:45 in the afternoon on the 30th. Because I couldn't get to any of the earlier shows were sold out, and I wanted to see it in IMAX, or not IMAX, in Dolby. So yeah, 1:45 or 30. So I'm looking forward to next week's roundtable.
Wait, you going on Thursday?
I'm going on Thursday. Yeah, I could I tried to see if there's any Wednesday shows. I didn't see any. I know there was like a fan showing thing, but I couldn't get tickets to that one.
Aren't they doing something? If you have Amazon Prime, you can see it super early.
Yeah, but here's the thing. They were selling tickets on Amazon Prime, and they were to specific theaters. So there was like 3 or 4 theaters out here, and I believe they were Regal theaters. So it was like a Amazon Prime Regal theater promotion.
Not for me.
But it wasn't playing at the one over there, McMahon. It wasn't playing at the Sherman Oaks.
Oh, then fuck them then.
There was only like 3 or 4 theaters showing that Amazon Prime stream, and they were all sold out. There's like one in Simi Valley, one in Alhambra, one in Bumblefuck, California, or something like that. It's like really far out places that they were showing it.
All right, well, never mind then.
Yeah, and that was like, yeah, you could, because I thought they were saying you could like buy it out and watch it at home or something. I don't know what I thought, but I was just like,
never happened.
Man, they're
doing that shit.
They were just doing tickets to like some early screen, and I don't like Regal theaters. I'm like, if I go to a Regal, it's because everything is sold out, and I'm going to the Sherman Oaks theater, which is super comfortable and always has seats. I don't care what the movie is; they've always got seats.
Dude, it's literally right across the street from my work. It's just convenient for me. So
yeah.
So are we gonna come on Sunday, or are we gonna do when do we?
You know what? Because I know I enjoyed Tom's reviews of his Sight Unseen movies, and I know a lot of the Sight Unseens, they drop on Mondays, right, Tom?
Yeah, they drop on Mondays.
All right, so yeah, so we'll hit folks over their head next Sunday, like hit them right in the mouth with a Spider-Man review. Like I'm talking punching these folks right in the.
I got a 12 noon Spider-Man that I'm watching.
Okay.
So I will see it on Thursday.
Okay, so I'm gonna be the late one because I will be seeing it on Friday.
Yep, and I'm seeing it in Dolby.
Damn. Yeah. It seems like Dolby's the only way anyone's seeing anything right now, because IMAX is tripping right now. IMAX is just straight tripping.
And what I will say is that because this was just the last thing that I had on our agenda, is that Odyssey had only a 30% drop.
Yeah, I'm looking at this.
Yeah,
which is amazing.
No. That's great for the film, and I'm sure because the word of mouth has and the positive word of mouth, and people saying like, people getting over themselves on the ethnic casting, getting over themselves on the dialogue and lack of what they would consider, dialogue of that point in time. And I loved Coleman Domingo's take on what's his name, trying to do his own. But beyond that, him talking about people who are talking about that the casting should have reflected the reality, and he's like, this is a made up fucking story. There is no real people to base it on. What are you talking about? I'm like, yeah, hit him in the mouth, dog, because you don't. Oh God, yeah. I love the haters getting ate up by a film that's probably going to hit $1 billion, within a couple of weeks. The way it's trending right now.
So I think the bigger story to me is Moana has moved into second, and which is good. I think word of mouth is probably getting around. That's getting people to at least go see it, give it a try. And Toy Story 5 is domestically is what 500 million.
Yeah,
it's number 3.
Toy Story 5 is $1 billion worldwide. So I mean, listen, if there's enough space for Moana to pick up a little bit of love, I mean, obviously, I'll tell you this, because I've seen movies every week in July, and I was able to take a picture in front of Moana's pop-up. When I tell you that bitch was gone the next week, they don't give a fuck.
Damn.
AMC is like, and so I hope it can get a little bit of love, because I really enjoyed it, and I guess I'm in the minority, but I really
I told you. I thought it was phenomenal.
In the minority of the movie going public. And people were talking about The Rock did look a little old. The wig wasn't as full. He didn't look like animated Maui, but I believed him as Maui. I loved the animation on his chest, which was a direct carryover from the animated movie. I just really enjoyed it. I think more people need to see it.
It's definitely doing better than Supergirl and Mortal Kombat. So worldwide.
Yeah.
So I think.
No.
Well, Supergirl's already headed to streaming. So
yeah. Supergirl headed. I thought it was there. I thought I could watch it now. It's not the. Oh no, that's the He-Man shit that dropped.
And Masters of the Universe. I mean, Supergirl's doing better than that, but that's not saying much, but by a little bit. The fact that Supergirl has only made 124 million worldwide, that is a failure.
Oh, colossal failure. Jesus.
Oh
well. Yeah, look at this. There's so many seats for Avengers Doomsday right now. If I wanted to see it on Thursday, December 17th, there's plenty of seats.
Yeah.
For the 1 p.m. screening. Yes, that's what I'm saying. It's like, you can find seats, y'all. You can find seats.
I'll be there. Mm-hmm.
All right, y'all. Till next week, Dr. Liz, take us out.
Good night, everyone.
McBain.
Hell answers to me, for I am Doom. Sign me up, baby.
I can't with you. I cannot with you. Tom.
Where is my T'Challa the second suit?
Second.
Excelsior. Hey, caramba.